What's up, everybody? It's your host, Jaden for Illini Daily. Let's get straight to it, man, because the formula today is just straight football, straight positivity, some updates to give you guys an idea how 2026-2027 season is heading. And right now, it's just positivity, man. We just got a new DB coach. We're going to be talking about some players that are transitioning to different positions. And just to give you guys a little update on the recruiting process and how good it's going so far. As of right now, guys, we have a total of 49 newcomers coming to 2026, the Fighting Illini football team. And that's good news to hear. Usually you want a little bit more than that on average when you're recruiting players, and you usually want more transfer players as well. But 49 is a good start, especially now that we're going to have a new coaching staff and possibly some new plays and some new formations and just new styles of football this year. Especially now that we have Bobby Hawk as our new defensive coordinator and mixing in with Brett Bielema's idea of defense of multiple formations. And with these new recruits, offensively is also going to change how our offense is going to work. We're still going to do that multiple offense style, so that brings some new light and some new ideas that's heading into this next season. But right now, let's just talk about the information we do know for sure, and let's get straight to it, man. Ronnie Bradford, great hire for us. Former NFL, defensive back coach / special teams guy. The reason why I think we truly hired Ronnie Bradford is due to his background, because he was the defensive coordinator for Bobby Hawk when he was the head coach for Montana for a couple of years from 2021 to 2023. So that brings some positivity and some limelight to this hiring, because he obviously knows how to develop DBs to be the best of their ability, being from college to being into the NFL coaching staffs. Also, this is great news here because now he can fix in to teaching Bobby Hawks' defensive style to our DBs. This is great news because it's easier when a coach has an idea towards another coaching style, and it's also nice to get an established coach instead of hiring somebody who's new or hasn't really been into the field of coaching, especially brand new. And this is a great way to develop our players and bring interest to newer recruits in the future. Just having a coach who's already made it into the NFL level and coming back down to college just so he can promote himself and to improve himself and other players. And this is great news to hear as well, because when Bradford was the defensive coordinator for Montana, they were one of the top ranked defenses of the program, if not the top. Their defense was top 20 in the nation in nearly every category, including scoring defense. They were top 5. Turnovers forced, they were top 10 with 24 interceptions, and rushing defense, they were top 4. And then passing efficiency defense, they were top 15, 108.5, and total defense, they were ranked in the 18th. So he does bring a new style of defense with Bobby Hawk's ideals, and his development towards players is going to help improve us immensely. And being two guys from being one of the best defenses ever in their school's history is bringing music into my ears, because you're just hearing possibilities of, okay, this is our defensive style. We're not going to have anybody score. We're not going to have anybody get yards on us. We're going to prevent all the issues that were Illini's former issues of letting up yards and getting beaten by certain QBs. And now that's going to be taken away with this new defensive style. And the fact that their style of defense is similar to Brett Bielema's multiple defense of different formations and different setups depending on the offense is also going to help out even more, because now they're having the same ideals within their defense. But that's some good news. My thoughts about Ronnie Bradford: he was a former, NFL DB coach and special teams guy, and the fact that he was with Coach Hawk makes me more excited about this hiring, because now they have that communication level and they all have the same ideals of defense. Just stopping the other offense from doing anything. So that's great news to hear. And let's talk about some players that are moving positions. Kaden Feagin, he's no longer going to be a running back. He's now going to be a tight end. This is good to know because Kaden's a really good athlete, I feel like he could play any position, so if he wants to be a tight end, that's perfectly fine with me. He's been a great pass blocker in the past as a running back, and he's a good enough athlete to run routes. He's also a very underrated route runner. You can see that he takes his angles and his cuts very seriously. And as being a running back, it's not like his speed or anything's going away. So the fact that he's going to be now blocking more and probably using more like shorter routes to open up the field for our offense is good news to hear. And Kaden also has really good breakaway speed, so once he does get the ball in a couple of receptions, he's just going to do a great job of breaking out his own runs. So this is good news to hear, especially that he was a really good running back, and we already have a lot of running backs, so this kind of opens up for him. It also moves up his stock because he could be a really good tight end due to his build as well. He's 6'3", 255 pounds, and being a bigger guy and being super athletic is going to be helpful at the tight end position, and it can create a lot of mismatches for all the linebackers guarding against him and safeties because due to his stature. And I'm gonna say it again. Feagin is just a really Fagan is just a really good athlete, and I feel like this is not going to be a change. And you guys know I've been giving out pro comps. I think his pro comp could be like a Delaney Walker, just a bigger guy, more athletic than he looks, using a great blocker, just a great all-around tight end. And I feel like Fagan can do that for us. And I'm very excited that he's making this transition because he's a good player. He's always been a great running back. And now that he is a tight end, we can also move him around within different formations, and we can put him back in the backfield to be a running back or even be a fullback. This just opens up the level of offense more immensely. And I bet a lot of people are kind of frustrated because he has been a starter in the past. A couple of times he started 4 games last year, but he did play all 12 or all 13. But this is fine, guys. We already rotated our running backs anyway. There was not a consistent starter. And the tight end position, we lost a lot of graduates to that position. And we like using different multiple sets. So this can just open up the field way more for us and give us opportunity to, do some new stuff with the same old players. So I'm very excited. I feel like he will do great at this position. He's already a bigger guy, and he's a really good route runner. I feel like he's underrated at route running. And we don't need him to do much. We just need him to do his job, and Kaden always does stuff like that. So this is positive news to hear, and I feel like he's going to do great. Next guy we're going to be talking about, Jordan Anderson. He's switching back to running back. This is good news to hear because now that Fagan, sorry, is moving to tight end, they're basically just switch swapping. They're both power runners, and the fact that Jordan Anderson is moving back to being a power runner for us is going to be really good news to hear. This opens up just as much because now that he did play tight end, we can put him at like a strange on an empty set when we have two tight ends, but it's both former running backs. And this is really good because trickery plays is going to be very, very helpful. Jordan Anderson, he hasn't done anything crazy for us, so I don't really have a pro comp for him because he's more like a short runner. He's more like for 4th and 1, um, you know, red zone type of runs. But this is fine. He doesn't need to do much. He's a good athlete as well. He's not as good as Kaden, but he's a good enough athlete to play running back. That was his old position anyway, and he was really good in high school. So maybe he'll go off, and maybe we give him some more reps, more touches, so he can have more usage and be utilized in a better way. So this also, like I said, opens up the field for us and gives us opportunities to do trickery plays because we like doing multiple formations and sets, and we could do like a crazy 2 tight end set with technically 2 running backs as tight ends who can get the ball whenever. And he's also not that bad of a route runner, so possibilities for that can also be useful. And I would also argue he's a way better pass blocker, so we can put Feagin in out for a route and just put Jordan Anderson in for blocking, which also helps the QB out with a new QB learning a new offense. So this is good news to hear. Multiple opportunities for our players, and this gives us an opening for everything. And I'm feeling really, really good about this, off season for football. Spring ball is coming up soon, and the basketball team's doing well. So we just have some positive news happening in Illinois. There's some great things, and I will be talking about those recruits and the other transfers that I didn't get into yet. So I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos, and I'll see you guys next time.